Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon in our dedication to the preservation of nature and its never-ending beauty. In photographs, you can capture the wild and leave it as you found it. By Ford Motor Company, we turned large areas of this plant complex outside Mexico City into a natural refuge for waterfowl, amphibians, and desert flora. Ford Motor Company, better ideas driven by you. And by TIAA-CREF, meeting your personal investing needs with mutual funds, tuition savings plans, investments for retirement, insurance, and more. TIAA-CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. And by annual financial support from viewers like you.
Greetings from India. I'm Valmik Thapa, and we are about to begin a journey that you will never forget. I'm kneeling down in Gir forest on the northwestern coast of India, looking at lions. This is not Africa. This is India, and it's the last home of the Asiatic lion in the world. In centuries past, lions like these ranged from India to the shores of the Mediterranean. But now they are confined to this one tiny corner of Gujarat. The most remarkable thing about the Asiatic lion is that it has an incredible relationship with man. It goes back 2,000 years, and the lion is tolerant and patient of the presence of man. You can sit on the ground or walk on foot, and the lion doesn't attack you. The lion may be Africa's pride, but here in India, we have something else. If any animal symbolizes the wildlife of the Indian subcontinent, it's the tiger. For most of my life, these superb animals have been my passion. For years I have tracked and watched them, yet I still thrill to the splendor of these magnificent beasts. But tigers are just one of the creatures that inhabit the vastness of the subcontinent. You could fit the whole of Europe into it with room to spare. From east to west, it's further than from London to Istanbul, and it's just as big from north to south.
Let me take you on a journey of a lifetime. And what better way to travel but on the back of this majestic elephant. We start our journey in the heart of India's finest tiger country. This is the true land of Kipling's Jungle Book, and the tiger still prowls these superb forests.
India was old long before Kipling's time. Her first people lived in a land full of wildlife, and they wove it into the very fabric of their lives. From the humid heart of India, we travel west to the dry deserts of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Sun-scorched grasslands leap with blackbuck, and the shimmering salt pans of the Rann of Kutch echo to the thundering hooves of wild ass. From the hot desert, we move north to the cold desert of the Himalayas. You'd think nothing could live in the frozen embrace of these high peaks, but you'd be wrong. We'll soar with the Lamagir, the full length of this great range of mountains. These icy citadels are home to the tar and ibex. Snowcock, and that ultimate symbol of the high snows, the snow leopard. Himalayan peoples long ago learnt respect for the nature of their mountain home. These mountains of the gods give birth to India's most sacred rivers. From its glacial beginnings, we'll follow the Ganges to the sea. Holy waters attract waterfowl by the million, and they are alive with fish, food for both animals and people. Lush swamps along the river heave with life. Among it, some of the world's largest and rarest animals. Here too we find the tiger. The biggest tigers of all stalk this watery home of wild buffalo, rhino and barasingha. Rivers flow to the ocean, an ocean full of surprises. Even in the sea, our largest land animal seems at home. We'll ride the ocean currents, south to the coral reefs of the Lakshadweep, then east to the remote and mysterious Andamans. And so to journey's end, the wet forests of southern India, Assam and Sri Lanka. A hidden secret world of creatures, small and large. This is the haunt of silent-footed leopard and deadly snake. But wherever they live, all these animals have a desperate struggle for space. In India alone, there are nearly 1 billion people. So how do we still have room for elephants? Millions still worship Ganesh, the elephant god, and many of us still have a deeply spiritual relationship with the wild. The great religions like Buddhism and Hinduism absorbed ancient animist beliefs into their very core. It's not only cows that are sacred here. All sorts of other creatures are too. Like monkeys, living embodiments of the monkey god Hanuman. These worshippers of Hanuman act out the more mischievous side of the monkey nature. Kandy in Sri Lanka is Buddhist territory, and here too, elephants are honored and revered. This is the annual Perahira festival. Over 12 days and nights, nearly 200 elephants take part in torchlit processions, and scores of dancers stamp and sway to the elephant steps. At the heart of the festival, the Buddha's sacred tooth relic rides high on a shrine on the back of the biggest tusker, decorated and bejeweled from head to toe. City dwellers may never see a wild elephant, but deep in rural India, many people still live surrounded by wild animals, and old beliefs are very much alive.
I'm always delighted to visit remote areas like Kanaha and spend time with people like Mamlu Baiga. He is a master of the forest and has many secrets in his mind of this forest. I'm in the heart of India, Kipling country, far away from the mad city, which is insulated from the natural world.
Dawn chases the night from the forest. Soon the mists will vanish in the heat of the rising sun. It's a new day in tiger country. This part of the tiger's domain is a mosaic of sal forest and grassy meadows. Here in the 1970s, people sacrificed their homes and land to make space for the tiger. These are the fabled forests of Kipling's Mowgli, and the animals of the Jungle Book are still here today. There's the jackal. Herds of elegant spotted deer. Langur monkey. And the shadowy presence of the villain of the stories, Sher Khan, the tiger. Out here in the dappled Sal forest, I can spend endless happy hours tracking the tiger. To me, he's no villain. I've come to seek him out in one of the richest pieces of tiger turf in this land of the tiger, Kanha National Park, close to the Seoni Hills on the high plateau of central India. Here, I know I will find a tiger. These are the moments I live for, where time stands still. For over 20 years, the sheer beauty and power of this magnificent creature has completely mesmerized me. This tigress has cubs concealed nearby. They stay hidden till she calls them out. She killed this cheetal earlier in the day. She'll eat all of it herself. Her cubs are still too young to manage meat. They're totally dependent on mother's milk, but they take a keen interest in everything she does. The cubs grow fast, and within weeks they'll be tackling a carcass themselves. But they'll be dependent on their mother's hunting skills for 2 full years. Fathers seldom play much part in rearing the young. Once her cubs are weaned, the tigress will be so busy hunting, she'll have little time to relax. In a family of jackals, the job of watchdog always falls to the adults. If the coast's clear, the pups can play. Jackals are one of our smaller predators, so they could end up on someone else's menu. A wolf could easily put an end to the day of the jackal. Our wolves look much leaner than the shaggy animals of northern climes, but they are just as lethal. Kipling wrote of wolves with respect and admiration, but that's an unusual view. In most of India, they've been hunted almost to extinction. If the jackal's wary of the wolf, it's also nervous of another Jungle Book character. Bhalu the bear. He's a sloth bear. He thrives in the heat of the Indian summer. He's a termite eater, but no less dangerous for that. The termite mounds are baked hard as rock. The bear has huge claws to rip them open. Mowgli's jungle friends poured scorn on the jackal. They thought it a cowardly creature, but not this one and its mate. A jackal biting a bear's bottom? In all my time in India, I've never seen anything like this before. The jackals must be protecting their pups. Another kind of dog, the dhol. It's also known as the Indian wild dog. Like wolves and jackals, dhol are social animals, and they can take quite large prey. Their packs are typically a dozen to 20 strong, though in Kanha, a pack of 50 has been seen. A group that size could tree a leopard or even chase a tiger, but usually tiger and wild dog avoid conflict. Dhol are formidable hunters. Their normal prey would be something like this: spotted deer, cheetal. But for now, all is calm at the edge of the Sal forest. The deer can safely graze, partly because they have a remarkable relationship with another creature, the langur monkey. The two seem to seek out each other's company. It's a special rapport that profits both parties in more ways than one. The deer eat a broad range of vegetation, but they can only reach so far up into the trees. Monkeys, on the other hand, are in their element up in the branches. you often see cheetal gathering underneath the monkeys, and this is why. Fruits the monkeys dislodge or reject fall to the ground, and the deer can take their pick. But there's another, more valuable side to the partnership. Sharp eyes up in the trees and sensitive ears down below give both parties a better chance of detecting danger. And when danger is detected, the whole forest resounds with cries of alarm. The tigers lost the vital element of surprise. Once it's been spotted, the hunt is over. Perhaps it will have more luck out in the meadows. On the forest edge, the cheetal have their minds on sex. Rival stags strut and posture, oblivious to the stripes in the grass. A tiger's charge packs incredible power, but it's short-lived. Surprise is essential. Barely one hunt in 20 succeeds. A hungry tigress returns to call her cubs out of hiding. In the first few months, the mother is ruthlessly protective. Cubs are vulnerable to attacks by jackals, wild dog, birds of prey, nearly everything that moves. Some are even killed by territorial male tigers. Mortality is high, and the tigress's devotion to her cubs is essential for their survival. A tigress can have a litter every 3 years. By the time the next set of cubs arrive, these youngsters will be fending for themselves. The females can share their mother's home range, but the males will move away to establish new territories. Hanuman langurs are sacred. They take their name from the general of a celestial monkey army. But in the Jungle Book, these were the Bandar Log, quarrelsome and indisciplined, not creatures to revere. They may be quarrelsome, but they are not undisciplined. Langurs live in complex and well-ordered societies, and youngsters learn the rules over a long childhood. There's a strict order of precedence within the troop. Subordinates are kept in their place. Some troops consist of females and young with a single male. Others are male bands. Each has its own range, and disputes are frequent when troops meet. When the conflict's over, the youngsters can play. Coming down to earth is not just the end of the game. It could be the end if the mother's not careful. In the late afternoon, langurs and chital move out into the open meadows. The animals are wary. Out here, there are no high vantage points to watch from. Tiger killing monkey. I've only seen it once before. The cubs are a little older now. This time, the prey is meant for them. Though they go through the motions, they still can't quite get to grips with it. Their mother leaves them to it. They must work it out for themselves. This is the first time they've had to deal with meat, but in a few months they'll be fully weaned. The wild dogs have a kill too, but not to themselves. A scavenging wild boar. With his sharp tusks, he can even stand up to a tiger. Two dogs on their own are no match for him. Early morning, and the stage is set for a show of splendor. The actors gather to call their lines and flash their finery. In ancient belief, peacocks are the prophets of the monsoon. Their ritual courtship takes place just before the onset of the rains. Peahens are drab and brown. Only cocks grow this magnificent train. This young male can't make eyes at anyone. He may be going through the motions, but he lacks the equipment. Hindus revere peacocks. They draw the chariot of Kartik, god of war. Each year, after mating, peacocks shed their feathers naturally. The fallen feathers become prized pickings for an ancient tribe called the Rajgons, who collect the feathers with great care. The feathers are made into magnificent headdresses, the centerpiece of their fertility dance. This dance is so secretive, it has hardly ever been witnessed before. This dance form, handed down over thousands of years, is meant to strengthen the marriage ties in and between villages and reinforces family traditions. Dances like these reveal the great entanglement between man and nature in traditional communities. Peacocks are worshipped, and only the feathers they lose naturally are used in such rituals. The peacock is so sacred that it is India's national bird. You often find them living alongside people in country villages. Peacocks are tolerated even though they sometimes damage crops. Snakes are tolerated too, despite the risks. Indeed, they are far more sacred than the peacock. The cobra is probably after rats. Peacocks are reputed to be snake killers. The feet that dance in courtship can also stamp in battle. A smaller snake might not be so lucky. Hidden underground, a poisonous brood emerges. Tiny cobras, each the spitting image of its mother. For months, she's guarded her buried treasure. Now, her hungry vigil is at an end. Lethal within hours of hatching, each tiny cobra packs a killing punch of venom. It's meant for prey like rats, but it's no less dangerous to any human that crosses their path. Incredibly, some people actually make a living catching snakes. It's a family business. Children learn from their father. The snake is doing her best to protect her young. Her would-be captor must treat her with respect. In India, 20,000 people die from snake bites each year. She's actually easier to deal with outside the hole. The boys in the family learn to handle snakes early in life. Snake catching is an occupation that's handed down from father to son. These days, some of the catch goes to snake farms to help produce anti-venom, but some has another destination. This is the annual festival of Naga Panchami in Maharashtra. It's a festival of snakes. There are more snakes here than people. In Hindu belief,
The great serpent Anant holds the earth in his coils. Women who want children believe snakes can bring life. They are symbols of fertility. These snakes will be released, but their sanctity doesn't stop some people killing tens of thousands for their skins. Snake worship is one of the oldest cults in the world, and in southern India, shrines are created in their honor. These are the places where childless women come for the blessings of the snake, hoping their prayers will be answered. It is believed the serpent is a guardian of water, the giver of life and fertility. Thus, it is the protector of all life. Much of our wildlife faces two great problems: disappearing wild places and poaching. Despite our best intentions, the lives of tigers and other wildlife are enormously threatened due to the needs of an increasing population. In an effort to minimize human pressures on Kanha's wilderness, several surrounding villages were successfully relocated in the 1970s. But there are still many thousands of people living in the buffer zone of the park. Every day, they gather firewood and other forest resources on which they depend. The langurs up in the trees have watched their forests vanish over the years. And it's not just because of the needs of forest communities. I have seen the horrors of large-scale commercial forestry, mining, hydroelectric dams, and so much more taking their toll. The langur is worshipped like a god, but I wonder whether it will survive. Will these ancient beliefs protect it in the future? There are many dedicated people who are looking for ways to save animals, especially the tiger. This gun could be the tiger's salvation. And this is not a gang of poachers, but a team of scientists preparing to radio collar a tiger. It is through the tracking of these collared animals that new and vital information will be discovered on the tiger's territory, its feeding habits, and its social behavior. We turn again to the elephant to help us find the tiger we want to collar. Being on elephant pack gives us a good vantage point and keeps us more out of the tiger's reach. If you must catch a tiger by the tail, first tranquilize it. Easier said than done when your mount keeps moving and you can't aim your gun properly. The dart does its work, and 150 kilos
of live tigress sink to the ground. The drug won't last long, so the scientists must work fast to fit the collar and collect all the information they need.
इसका कितना इस वाले का कितना इस वाले का
Radio collars are invaluable tools for scientists. The more information we can collect by tracking animals like this tigress, the more we learn of their survival needs. William Blake wrote of an immortal hand framing the tiger's fearful symmetry. For these people, the tiger himself is an immortal. In a village on India's west coast, they prepare to celebrate their deity. Painting themselves to look like tigers and dancing in devotion brings great honor on this most awe-inspiring of the world's big cats. Back in Kanha, our tiger cubs are older now. In this wilderness of plenty, their mother has kept them safe. But what of their future? Will they make it to the next century? To me, it seems natural to revere the tiger. It's the symbol of our wild heritage. But not everyone shares my views. As cultures change, old beliefs that built fear and respect for wild animals disappear, and with them, the tiger's domain vanishes. We must battle to save the tiger so that future generations can witness wonders like this.
To learn more about what you've seen on this nature program, visit PBS online at www.pbs.org.
In the next program, we travel south of the Himalayas through the great river plains that sweep across the Indian subcontinent. I will be following the sacred waters of the Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers from the Himalayan foothills to the open seas and seeing some spectacular wildlife on the way.
Land of the Tiger is available on home video cassette for $19.95 or $89.95 for the 6-part series. To order, call 1-800-336-1917 or write to the address on your screen. Please specify episode title. Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon, in our dedication to the preservation of nature and its never-ending beauty. In photographs, you can capture the wild and leave it as you found it. By Ford Motor Company, our new vehicles are made with more than 2 million tons of recycled metals Enough to build 250 Eiffel Towers a year. Ford Motor Company. Better ideas driven by you. And by TIAA CREF, meeting your personal investing needs with mutual funds, tuition savings plans, investments for retirement, insurance, and more. TIAA CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. And by annual financial support from viewers like you.